Here we go.
Good evening, and I'd like to call to order our Tuesday, December 6, 2016 City Commission meeting. Let us stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have our roll call, please?
Mayor Hines,
Here.
Commissioner Martin,
Here.
Commissioner Vogt,
Here.
Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Terry.
Here.
Thank you. Do we have any announcements tonight? If not, we will move on to our consent agenda.
There's one item on the consent agenda, and that is the minutes from the November 15th, 2016 regular City Commission meeting.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it is approved. And now we move on to our old business. The first that we have is ordinance number 14-16. It's the second reading.
An ordinance to make appropriations for the city of Piqua, Ohio for the year 2017.
I'll ask Ms. Holtzapfel to provide the staff report.
Thank you. The 2017 appropriation was reviewed in detail by the Commission at the budget meetings held a few weeks ago. This 2017 appropriation, as required by charter, must be passed before the end of December of this year. Therefore, it will be presented for the third time at the next Commission meeting.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission? Do we have any questions or comments from the public on this ordinance? If not, this will stand as our second reading. And now we move on to our new business. The first is ordinance number 15-16, and this is a first reading.
An ordinance repealing Schedule A of Chapter 33 of the Piqua Code and adopting a new Schedule A of Chapter 33 of the Piqua Code relating to wages of certain municipal employees.
Ms. Barton will provide the staff report.
Thank you. Schedule A covers all the salaries of all non-union employees. Each of these positions has a salary range of 6 steps. Each of these steps is increased by 2%. That's the same increase that was approved by the City Commission for the FOP and OPBA contracts.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission on this ordinance? Any questions or comments from the public? If not, this will stand as our first reading for this ordinance. And now we move to ordinance number 16-16. This is also a first reading.
An ordinance repealing Schedule A1 of Chapter 33 of the Piqua Code and adopting a new Schedule A1 of Chapter 33 of the Piqua Code relating to wages of certain municipal employees.
Ms. Barton.
Schedule A1 covers the wages of all seasonal, part-time, and temporary employees. 2% is also afforded to these employees for 2017. And also, the minimum wage was going to go up by a nickel in Ohio for 2017, so we're keeping a bit ahead of that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission? Any questions or comments from the public on this ordinance? If not, this will stand as the first reading for this ordinance. And now we move to resolution number R-128. I'm sorry. Now we move to ordinance number 17-16. This is also a first reading.
An ordinance repealing existing Chapter 33.08 and enacting a new Chapter 33.08 of the Piqua Code relating to employee insurance.
Ms. Barton.
Chapter 3308 covers the health and life insurance for all full-time employees. The benefit year has been adjusted to 2017, and the additional tiers of employee plus spouse and employee plus children have been added. We've also added another wellness activity for employees to participate in to receive additional HSA or HRA dollars.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission on this ordinance? Any questions or comments from the public on this ordinance? If not, this will stand as our first reading. And now we move to resolution number R-128-16.
A resolution supporting the fiscal year 2017 United States Environmental Protection Agency Brownfields Cleanup Grant Program application.
Ms. Reese.
Thanks, Gary. The city is requesting to apply for a $200,000 US EPA Brownsfield cleanup grant for the removal of the asbestos that's in the former Moe's Lounge. There is approximately $268,000 worth of asbestos that needs to be abated from this building. That'll make it more favorable for a developer to purchase that building from the city of Piqua. This project, this grant application is actually due December of this year, 22nd, but it has the fiscal year 2017 on there because we have to go through certain criteria to be classified to actually qualify for this application. So we will not officially know if we receive the $200,000 until April of next year. If we do receive that funding, we will be granted that funding in probably between July or September of next year. And hopefully, as soon as we receive that word, we will abate that asbestos next year for this building. The match money is 20%, which we've easily met with it being over 200,000. Being 268,700, and we can also count the cost of the purchase of the building as match as well, which it cost us a little over $46,000 to purchase that building. So we've easily met that match. We've also completed a phase 2, which is a requirement for this funding, which we used US EPA cleanup funding, assessment funding that we received back in 2013. To complete that assessment. So that has been completed as well, which that's what identified the asbestos that was located in this building. The match money would be coming from the Department of Development, should we receive that funding. If we don't receive the assessment funding or the cleanup funding, we would not move forward with this project in next year. So it's the recommendation that we, move forward, and I can proceed with submitting this grant to the US EPA for this $200,000 for this grant.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission? Any questions or comments from the public on this resolution?
Move to adopt resolution R-128-16.
Second?
Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Hines,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution number R-128-16 passes, and I think it's great to remind the public here that this is for a $268,700 project, but $200,000 of that will be the grant if we do receive that. So thank you very much, Mrs. Reese, for your work on that. We appreciate it. And now we move to resolution number R-129-16.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the city of Piqua for construction, engineering administration, material testing, and quality assurance of the wastewater facilities expansion and upgrading, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan.
Mr. Melvin will provide the staff report.
We're submitting this loan in January, and we're seeking authorization for the signature by the city manager to enter into this fund agreement. Our PTI is due back in February from the EPA, and this will keep us on schedule to then begin going out to bids in March.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission on this resolution?
Could you give us a little explanation for the public of why we're doing this, just a little background?
Sure. Sanitary sewer overflow, SSO, behind the power plant, there's a gate. And sometimes during wet weather events, we cannot take on all the flow and raw untreated water gets in the river. And the EPA is asking for, well, they're not asking, they're telling elimination of this SSO. So this is, we are expanding the plant to take on all the flow.
And this is kind of common for a lot of cities now because of technology and water and all that, so it's not unique to Piqua, correct?
No, not at all. Sydney's attacking it themselves right now, and other communities have to expand constantly. We also, last summer, put in a extra siphon line under the river to accommodate more flow to come under the river. So right now, the plant is actually what's too small. The pipes under the river can now accept the flow.
I should add that across the nation, water and wastewater infrastructure are big issues throughout the entire country. We're addressing ours, and we will be in good shape once we complete the upgrade of the wastewater treatment plant and our new water plant.
And we have no option but to do it because we would be heavily fined until we did it.
Through the US EPA,
Right,
we would be
and-
fined.
Among probably a lot of other things, so.
And this is in our MPDS discharge permit under a compliance schedule.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Anything else from the commission? Any questions or comments from the public on this resolution? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move we adopt resolution number R-129-16.
Second.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Terry,
Aye.
Mayor Hines,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number R-129-16 passes. And now we move to the point for public comment. I will say we do not have any public here tonight, so we will move on to the city manager's report.
Thank you. We're working very closely with the Piqua Area Chamber of Commerce's Veterans Committee on their Veterans Memorial Patriotic Banner Program. And applications are now available for those wanting to purchase a banner for a veteran, maybe a family member or friend or whatever, for display on the city light poles. Those applications are available at the Chamber, Forest Hill Cemetery, and also in the city manager's office. So this is a new program that I think is going to go over very big and already is attracting quite a bit of attention. So we're glad to work with the Veterans Committee and help make this possible. The governor ordered late this evening the flags at half-staff tomorrow, December 7th, for the remembrance of Pearl Harbor and those that lost their lives serving our country. So if you see the flags at half-mast tomorrow, you'll know what that's about. I should give some kudos to some people and companies that have recently or are in the process of donating property to the city for certain projects. Paul Sherry, of course, donated the property off Fox Drive for the new water tower, and that we tremendously appreciate that, and that goes a long way in making these projects possible. We're working with Piqua Materials right now to possibly receive a donation of land for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade. I think that's about 8.7 acres that they're going to probably donate to the city so that we can continue that expansion and help certainly with the cost. And I would expect this month that the Piqua School District will be donating some properties to us, not only for our riverfront, but for some other projects that we have in the works. So we appreciate that type of cooperation, and working together goes a long way in making the projects that we need to complete a reality, and so we appreciate that very much, and we're gonna do more to recognize them in the near future. Finally, I'd like to I think you were introduced to our new assistant wastewater plant superintendent, Howard Phillips, and Howard, I think, has been a long-time employee of the city, currently working at wastewater, but he started out as, I believe, a meter reader. Yeah. So we're glad to see that promotion, and that and it keeps continuity at the plant, and I think it goes a long way in helping us to run this new and upgraded facility with him and Chris down there heading that up. So, and of course with Dave Burtner overseeing everything. So we're happy to have Howard in that position. So that concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Commissioner Vogt, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I got some comments tonight. Going back to what Gary said about the chamber and the Veterans Memorial out there, remind people that you can purchase bricks in that memorial and have your family member or your name put on it, stating the branch of service you was in and the time spent. And I believe those are $50 each.
Trying to remember, I just bought one, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
saw
trying to
your name out
remember.
there. It's
So.
right there by my sons and brothers.
Well, I wondered where it was. I haven't been able to find
Yeah,
it, so, okay.
it's
now I
out
know.
there.
Okay.
Okay. I went down to Christmas on the Green and the Christmas parade, and I never saw a woman cover so much ground in my life as Lorna Swisher.
You're right.
I want to tell you what, that woman worked so hard for the city of Piqua and her merchants down there, and I don't think she gets the respect that she deserves. And Lorna, thank you for doing a great job for us in all your endeavors throughout the year. That woman really works hard. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Martin?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Wilson?
Well, this weekend, there was a lot of Christmas activities downtown. You know, like Bill said, that Friday was the Christmas on the Green. We had the parade. The bikers are handing out stuffed animals to all the kids. I thought that was nice. And then Sunday night, they had the Christmas cabaret at the plaza, headed up by Ruth Kuhn. That was really well done. And I was thinking, with all that going on, if you were still not in the Christmas mood after all that, you need to go chug some eggnog and head out to Broadway to that house that is supplying all the electricity that Judy's always talking about. And if you're still not in the mood, then you're out of luck. But yeah, it was a great weekend. A lot of stuff going on. On another activity we had, I had a call a few days ago about a dead deer out on 185 near Bennett Drive. Now, it's not in the city of Piqua, so I called around within the city to see what we could do or who we could contact, because they had contacted the county about a week ago, and it was still sitting there and not getting any better. So I finally it ended up going to Amy Welker at our health department, and she got a hold of Fred Langston, and they decided to remove the deer because it was a problem. Even though it was not in the city, they took it on themselves to remove that deer. And I got the nicest call from a couple ladies who live out there thanking me, even though I really did nothing compared to those two. And but they were so happy that the city was able to help them out, even though it was not a city land or anything. And just wanted to relay those comments that really should have gone to them, not to me, because I just made a phone call, but they did all the work. So it's nice that our employees are able to go the extra mile, even though they didn't have to, because again, it was a county issue, not ours. But I appreciated it, and the two ladies, I made two really good friends now from that, even though I just made a phone call. So that was nice. So that's all I have.
Thanks. Commissioner Terry?
Well, I attended the weekend Christmas celebrations, and the one we forgot to mention was at Westminster Church on Sunday afternoon. Was it Sunday afternoon?
Yes.
Yes. Geez, they all ran together, which was excellent. The Civic Band concert and gave a Christmas program, and it was excellent, as they always are. So one more thing that we have to be thankful for in this time of year.
Thank you. I have a few comments as well. One other activity that happened, it was an activity-packed weekend. The Arts Council also had a concert on Saturday afternoon that had a high school student, some of our former high school students, and some other musical pieces involved in that as well. So there were a variety of things that people could have taken part in this weekend. So another shout out to Lorna. I agree. We are very lucky to have Lorna Swisher, and Lorna works so hard for our city, and we cannot say thank you enough to Lorna. So between the parade, the Christmas on the Green, and everything else, it was a wonderful weekend. I do want to give a special shout out to our show choir. They were part of Christmas on the Green, as they are every year, Tom Westfall and the high school show choir. But they also have been traveling around our community, singing and bringing song of the season to so many different places, and it is so wonderful to see them every year, and it's hard to leave those. I was in a Rotary meeting today where they also entertained us as well, and it's just a wonderful tradition for our community to have the show choir do that. And I know that they did it on Saturday for the senior citizen breakfast as well up at Washington. I also want to give a special shout out to our Public Works Department. Lorna makes a lot of that happen, but our Public Works Department do a lot of things behind the scenes to make those things happen, along with our police department with the parade and a variety of other things as well. One of the things that was part of our Christmas on the Green this year was a parklet, and I can tell you that may be a word that you have never heard of before, but I have been in many meetings throughout Ohio where other communities are creating these parking spaces. And in Columbus, they're actually artistic installations, believe it or not. They're very unique in nature, but a way to give people a place to sit and enjoy during a festival or different things. And our Public Works Department created one, and it was out for Christmas on the Green, and it was beautiful. So if you did not see it, I encourage you at our next festivals to look for it, because I'm sure it will be back out. But I give thanks for the good work that our Public Works Department does for us. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Piqua Central Intermediate School. They have been working on gifts of kindness this past fall. And in the parade, they had a float, and they had children giving out candy canes that had notes of gift of kindness on it for the community. And I actually took a picture and I tweeted it out on my Twitter account. But, you know, children lead us in so many ways, and it's so wonderful to see the good work that the teachers are doing with the students at Central Intermediate, reminding us as a community the importance of being kind. You know, it's a very simple thing to do, but it does go a long way, and especially in the world that we live. So I give thanks for those young children spreading kindness in the midst of our holiday parade. If there is nothing else, I will take a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.